feel like I should have a ukulele.
You should. I don't.
Some Ray-Bans and ukulele.
Because we are.
I have a Hawaiian shirt on the whole time.
Welcome, guys, to Headlines and Shenanigans number 4, our TCG Summer Break Show.
4.
That's right.
Something's coming your way. Look out.
Wherever you are, something's coming your way. I have no idea what they are, which is, exciting for me. I don't have to come prepared.
It's part of the
Headlines
shenanigans.
and Shenanigans. It's one of my favorite things to do, is not be prepared for the show.
That's the whole thing, Michael. I bring the headlines, you bring the shenanigans.
That's right. I understand.
I get it now.
There you
Finally
go,
get
Andy.
it.
Yeah, you're putting it together.
We got a whole bunch of shenanigans, Michael. I don't know if you've been watching the big old headlines nowadays. We got some big headlines that dropped this week, or at least one big headline, definitely.
Are you talking about Reddit, like being in blackout?
No, that was just inconvenient. God damn it.
Yeah, that is pretty inconvenient.
All of my favorite subreddits, my favorite social media stuff, just all gone.
What are you going to do?
I prefer Reddit over most social media apps because it's just more tailored to me instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like having to... It's like, what's your family posting? I don't care what my family's posting about. I want to know what Unicorn Farts 42 is posting about, and interesting as fuck.
Yeah, man, those diehard Reddit users, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can find some way more fun shit on there. It's like, I'm not like I would get my Facebook all clogged up with political things. I'm going to look at my Reddit things. Ooh, porn. Boobies.
So distracting.
You can find anything on Reddit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But speaking of Reddit, man, I found something on Reddit this week, but it wasn't just on Reddit. It was everywhere.
Where?
It was fucking Ted Kaczynski,
man.
man.
You sent me that link.
The Unabomber himself.
I must confess, I don't know a lot about the Unabomber.
We weren't really that.
He is the Unabomber.
We weren't really that active back in the day, during his actual heydays. We were alive back then, but we're not that old.
Right.
But yeah, man, Unabomber Ted Kaczynski has finally kicked the bucket. He died by suicide in a prison medical center, AP sources say.
Oh, good for him, I guess.
I mean... Yeah.
But I mean, if I was wearing that jacket, I would commit suicide as well.
I do, yes,
that
man. This
jacket is garbage.
This is the picture they have in this article. This is from the AP News, but yeah, the picture they have of him is from 1996. And the jacket he is wearing looks like it can only be described as made from his own beard hair.
Yeah.
Like, it is a blazer that looks thick as a goddamn dick. Like, it is the thickest blazer I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know why would you wear this in the sunlight?
Yeah, all the cops have on, like, windbreakers and, like, a light jacket, and they put this guy in raw wool.
Like you said, he made it out of his own hair. So.
It does.
I mean, if he made it out of his own hair, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah, I go everywhere with this. This is my jacket. It's actually still attached on the back. It just braids into my back here.
Okay, never mind. That's disgusting.
But Ted Kaczynski, otherwise known as the Unabomber, who carried out a 17-year bombing campaign that killed 3 people and injured 23 others, died by suicide. This was
he went out on his own terms, that bastard.
He very much did. He was 81 years old, and he was suffering from late-stage cancer, but he was found unresponsive in his cell at the Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina, around the corner, Michael.
Oh, shoot. He was right here in the old North Carolina, huh?
We got claim to him. Wow. I guess we ended up getting stuck with him.
Wow. Right here in the Tar Heel State. That's what happens.
Exactly.
You get stuck.
But emergency responders tried to perform CPR and revived him before he was transported to a hospital where he was then pronounced dead later Saturday morning. So he tried, I'm not exactly sure what what the cause of death is yet other than suicide. Mm-hmm. But Kaczynski's death comes after the Federal Bureau of Prisons has faced increased scrutiny in the last several years following a few other suicides in prison that you may see those air quotes about.
Yeah.
But,
I see those. I can hear it in your voice.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear those air quotes.
But in 2021, he was transferred to the Federal Medical Center in North Carolina. Since I said he did have he was late stage cancer. He was already kind of on the later stages of his life. So he wasn't actually in prison here the whole time. This is just where this was kind of his like hospice stay in North Carolina.
Oh.
Because where else to live out your golden years than here in the beautiful Tar Heel State?
That's right.
Lush mountains, the Piedmont, beautiful coastal waters.
Wow. You sound like one of those infomercials.
Sam Elliott, come to North Carolina.
Discover the state you're in.
Exactly. But yeah, he had been held in actually a federal supermax prison in Florence, Colorado since May of 1998. So that picture we saw was during his trial.
Okay.
But he was sentenced to 4 life sentences plus 30 years. That's just one of those, you know what? And fuck you again.
Yeah.
Fuck you just again.
Just in case.
Just in case.
That's right.
Fuck you. But yeah, he had a 30 for plus 30 years for a campaign of terror that set universities nationwide on edge. after he admitted committing 16 bombings from the years of 1978 through 1995, permanently maiming several of his victims. So yeah, this was kind of like the BTK of terrorists to an extent. Like he had this very long string of being active, and there was a long stint of it where he wasn't exactly active. He was kind of hiding out in the wilderness.
Right, laying low.
Yeah, because if you remember, Kaczynski did live as a recluse in a cabin out in rural Montana for a while.
I did not know that.
That's where he carried out a solitary bombing spree. That's where he actually was living, just out in this like abandoned cabin type situation, just into the wild type guy. He was very much off the grid. So
Yeah,
I don't remember if you
have to be if you're gonna go blowing shit up all the time.
Yeah, I don't remember. Did you and Lauren do a whole case on the Unabomber yet?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, well, you know what? This is the perfect time, man. We're gonna have to after the summer break.
Put him on the list.
After the summer break, we'll have to do a deep dive on the Unabomber himself, and I'll give you a little bit of a rundown because he was an academics professor. He was a mathematician. He was very smart. He lived in this cabin out there, but he actually was able to mail out bombs in packages and on boarded airplanes. But his targets that he bombed included academics, airlines, the owners of a computer rental store, an advertising executive, and a timber industry lobbyist. And in 1993, a California geneticist and a Yale University computer expert were maimed by bombs within the span of 2 days. But then 2 years later, in 1995, that was when the New York Times and the Washington Post, he basically like blackmailed them into publishing this 35,000 word manifesto that was like, it was just against modern life and technology and damages to the environment. He was like the first like real eco-terrorist.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot that goes in with Ted Kaczynski, and there's a lot with like, MK Ultra and the government and conspiracy theories around him.
This explains the jacket.
This explains the jacket.
It was just
that explains the jacket.
From a sheep, man. That's just what it was.
So I'm saying, I think that jacket was still attached in the back.
Yeah,
it's like what was the Captain Jack Sparrow? It's like rope made of human hair from my back. I have a nice 3-button blazer made from human hair, still on my back.
I'm wearing it now.
Still on my back.
It's like underneath the shirt.
That's like a terrible like mutant power, like a reject X-Men. Yeah, I can just control my body hair and how it grows, and it just makes my own clothing. See? Now it's a t-shirt. Now it's a polo. It's like, well, we don't really have room for you on the X-Men, but well, have you ever looked into teaching gym
or the circus?
Yes. You ever looked at the circus? We really need a good lacrosse coach. How are you on the field? We don't really want to put you in the spandex, but well, obviously you don't need it. But yeah, it sounds like a terrible X-Men joke.
Yeah,
but yeah, this was all about Ted Kaczynski. He was eventually caught. The tone of his manifesto when it was put out was recognized by his brother David and David's wife. They were the ones who tipped off the FBI, who had been searching for him for years. So yeah, he was found in 1996 in a small plywood and tar paper cabin outside Lincoln, Montana that was filled with journals, a coded diary, explosive ingredients, and 2 completed bombs. Wow. So yeah, he was very much still active. He was planning more things,
and he was planning on, going out anyways.
Yeah, when you write a 35,000 word manifesto, I mean, you're no joke. I mean, this isn't a hobby for you. This is a lifestyle.
Honestly, I can't believe he stayed in prison until he was 81.
I'm surprised. I mean, I feel like he
obviously didn't want to die.
I don't think he did, but I also think that once he got into prison, like I feel like he was one of the two who had like the mental faculties that just needed that regimented. Like, no one's you're not making any decisions anymore. Like everything about your life is regimented. We know where you're going, when you're going to be there, when you're eating. Like I feel like he may have kind of thrived in there a little bit, like because he was able to just be by himself, which is what he wanted to be. He didn't want to have to worry about anything, and he had to do.
But not in nature.
No, he didn't get to be in nature. But I said, like, I feel like he didn't have to worry about anything. He didn't have to try and plan anything. He was like after that, like he just kind of. I'm sure he was very vocal in prison. I feel like he was not a very quiet inmate. Right. But I also feel like he wasn't like really messed up in prison. I feel like he just kind of thrived there, just being by himself, a lot of solitary, a lot of just writing in your journals and stuff.
Yeah,
because he had a lot of people who would like reach out to him. He had a lot of pen pals and
with these types of causes.
Yeah, like I said, he's still a very educated man. He went to Harvard. He was a professor at one point. Like he's a very smart man, and he has he had lots of interactions with people, and people have been writing to him and all kinds of things. So he was a very public figure for the whole time, but he never really seemed to cause any stir in prison. So I feel like he was kind of okay there, because once he got there, it was like he was isolated, but yet he could still get his message out. Like he could write to people, and like it was kind of, I don't know, it kind of felt like he maybe had now he had like a platform to an extent. But no more. Like I said, it was he kind of went out on his choice. Like he was very late stages of cancer. But this was a man who was always very anti-authority, anti-rules, you're not going to tell him what to do.
Yeah, don't tread on me.
Yeah, he is living his own way. Yeah. He just wants to be by himself, doing his own shit. And when you're like, you take him to a medical center, you're like, well, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. Bet your ass I am. Why don't you go ahead and close that door?
Yeah, right.
Like, this is not a man who
they're
was...
still right.
Yeah, this was not a man who was ever like... He didn't do things half-assed. Like, he was like, no, I'm good. Okay. And, like, he's just... It seemed like he had no qualms about this. He wasn't somebody who was afraid of it. He was a very dedicated and driven person. So this wasn't like I don't think he was very big of an issue out there. But yeah, he was actually kind of like... almost... put up on a pedestal by a lot of different groups and different like kind of organizations. He turned into like an iconic figure for both like the far right and the far left. Yeah. So it was like eco terrorism and domestic terrorism and all kinds of different things that were, he kind of hit on a lot of different
he's
nerves.
A complicated character in our history, right?
Yeah, in the industry of like the history of America and like their biggest criminals and like kind of notorious figures of crime, he is like up there and one of the biggest.
Like Marv Heemeyer, the Killdozer guy.
True, to an extent.
He's kind of like one of those characters that's kind of blurry. Some people really like him. Some people are like, no, this was shitty. Mm-hmm. It's just the opinions are very vast as far as the differences and what people think about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It was like if there's a lot of people who can you read like his manifesto, you read his ideas, and you're like, yeah, a lot of this makes sense. Some of these things are really good ideas. Don't burn the environment. Let's not burn the thing.
Right.
Let's save the animal. Like he has a lot of good ideas. And then other times where it's like they're tracking me through my belt. All right, Ted,
maybe.
Well,
hold on a second.
so sometimes you got a little take it a little with a grain of salt, Ted. Yeah, why don't you slow down. Right. So I think once he actually got the help, the help and the counseling and therapy and medicated possibly, and he was kind of given much more care in prison than he probably ever got on his own. So like I said, I felt like he probably thrived in prison, but this was a man who decided he was going to take matters into his own hands, regardless of what the doctors said. And now we're just going to have to live with the memory of Ted Kaczynski for the rest of our lives.
I'm probably not going to remember him.
Well, you better remember him because we're going to have a whole episode about Ted Kaczynski coming up, Michael.
Great.
This fall on True Crime
Are you volunteering to do the timeline?
Not a goddamn. I bring the headlines, Michael. You bring the. No, we're gonna have a whole different vibe coming up soon. We have like I said, we have a whole different calendar for the fall.
I don't know if we're gonna make it through the break, man. I'm already getting the itch to get back on the mic. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
You're already getting itchy?
Yeah.
No, that's probably just put some baby powder on that.
Yeah, probably. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll just record stuff and then we'll just post it. We'll schedule it.
Oh yeah, just put a bunch of things in the
vault.
We'll
schedule it.
Well, we'll see what we can do, Michael. Have a little. We have dreams, Michael.
Maybe we'll throw a surprise episode out.
He's like, we have a lot of dreams, Michael. We have big dreams for this show. And speaking of dreams, Michael, our next story is going to talk about a nightmare. Because this is I'm listening. This segue works. You follow me.
Yes.
A sleeping man.
You're the host, Andy.
Dreamed that someone was breaking into his home. He then fired at the intruder and shot himself.
Wait, there's a lesson here.
There is some.
Hold on a second. This is a much deeper issue.
This is
if there's a stranger in your home, you never think it's going to be you.
Wait a minute. Am
that's
I the stranger?
The person you least expect.
Looking at the man in the mirror. But a 62-year-old man is now facing firearms charges in Illinois after authorities say he accidentally shot himself in the leg.
I feel like he suffered enough.
I feel like he got, for one, you got a bullet wound in your leg. 2, you got roasted by the cops and the paramedics when you got there.
Definitely.
3, the doctors further roasted you when you got to the hospital. I guarantee you there wasn't a sympathetic nurse in there. You're like,
you shot yourself in your sleep?
You shot yourself in your sleep? All right, Rambo. Jesus Christ. The doctor's like, ooh, that's Jason Bourne. But the man is identified as Mark Takaria of Lake Barrington used a get this, a .357 Magnum revolver.
Uh-oh.
And shot himself in the leg. Now, if you know anything about guns or firearms, people,
that's gonna hurt.
That's a gun that's gonna shoot you and the floor and the water pipe under the house.
Yeah.
That's doing property damage along with the physical damage to your leg.
No doubt, man.
And I'm not kidding, because a .357 Magnum shot in the leg. The gun went through his leg and into the deep into the floorboards. So yeah, those things are like a .357 Magnum. That's like Rick's gun from The Walking Dead. That is a front hole in the head, no longer back of head.
Yeah, I think this is like a 44, but yeah.
Those are big.
Getting there.
Those are big old bullets right there. Yeah, according to the thing, on the night of the incident, Dikaria was dreaming that someone was breaking into his home. So he retrieved his gun to shoot at whoever he believed the intruder was. But when he fired, Dikaria shot himself in the leg and woke up from the dream. I'm sure he did.
It's like, I got him.
That'll wake you up in the morning right there.
Yes.
Having trouble getting up for work?
Alarm clock.
Having trouble getting up for work? Fuck that coffee.
That's right.
.357 Magnum, straight to the femur. That'll put a pep in your step.
No more hitting the snooze button for you, buddy.
No more. That'll put a pep in your step and a limp in your gimp.
I want to put that hospital on speed dial, though.
Yes. You have an ambulance take you to work every day.
Right.
But sheriff's deputies responded to the scene after receiving call of a reporting of a gunshot and a gunshot wound at the resident. They found Dikaria when they arrived suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg and losing what they described as a significant amount of blood.
I bet.
Exactly. Later determined the round discharged from his gun went through his leg and lodged itself in his bed. No one else was harmed, and deputies applied a tourniquet to the leg after finding him and transporting him to the hospital. But yeah, that's a big hole all the way through the leg. And during the investigation, authorities realized that Dikaria owned and used the revolver despite not having a firearms owner identification card.
Uh-oh, now we got a problem.
Which is mandatory in Illinois. So it's like, okay, you did in order to legally possess the gun. It's like, not only did you try to shoot an intruder in your home, but you used a gun you didn't legally own.
Yeah.
And you shot yourself in the leg and had to call the police and call an ambulance. Yeah. You had to call 911 because you blew a fucking cucumber-sized hole through your thigh.
Right. And if you say I shot myself to the operator, they're going to send a police officer.
Oh yeah, they're sending all the cars they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said authorities said his identification card had previously been revoked, although they did not share the details as to why. The Lake County Sheriff's Attorney's Office approved 2 charges for Dikaria for possession of a firearm without a valid FOID and reckless discharge of a firearm. They're considered class 3 and 4 felonies.
Yeah, the dude might have PTSD or something, you know?
He's definitely not going to be able to sleep
like
through
that.
the night very
You know what
far
I'm saying?
for a while. Yeah, he's definitely going to need some melatonin to get to sleep from now on.
He's going to need something, man.
Yeah, he's not going to sleep very easily from now on. All right, I'm gonna get real cozy right now. Oh! Okay, it was just me again. Damn.
Right. Yeah, maybe don't sleep with your gun in your hand, especially if you typically have dreams like that.
I'm just saying. I'm not a firearms guy. I don't own a gun. I'm never gonna accidentally hit myself with my bat in my dream.
Well, I don't know.
That's a pretty big wind up to hit yourself. You gotta hold it all the way out. Use all that wrist strength.
If you're having a dream that you were bit by a zombie, right?
I mean,
and you want to put yourself out of your misery before you turn and eat your family.
If I'm using a bat on myself, that's the worst.
That's all you have. You just said to yourself, you're not a firearms guy.
That is hands down the worst way to possibly do it.
You got to go Negan on your ass.
Hold on, this is gonna take a bit. I might as well just lay the bat on the ground and just dive into it.
Oh Lord!
But yeah, like I said, you guys always gotta be careful when you're in those deep dreams, man. Some people have those vivid dreams.
Yeah, no shit.
That's a pretty vivid dream right there. Because I'm wondering, it's like, was he holding the gun? Was he pointing it? Was he like walking around the house sleepwalking?
I blame VR.
I blame VR. Or is he like walking around with like, did he like get a holster and like put it on in his sleep and just like walk around like quick draw quick draw McGawk's gun on the
And
hip.
he was a little too quick.
Just kick out, son of a bitch.
Shot it before you got it out of the holster. Hot damn, boy, I'm fast.
God, I got fast fingers. Yeah,
I'm bleeding out fast too.
I got to put some WD-40 in this holster though. This thing's sticky as hell.
Oh, I didn't undo the strap.
Oh, that might be a thing.
Yep.
Yep, the gun's still in there.
Yep.
Yep, that gun's still in the holster.
You got an extra hole in that holster now. That's all right. Helps the sand drain out.
It's helping the blood drain out of my leg right now. But yep.
Lord. What else
So,
you got?
anyways, Michael, I want to go ahead and
anyways,
dive away from this little nightmare of a dream right here.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the good Lord,
oh,
the good word of the Lord.
oh,
But this time it wasn't written by man; it was written by a robot.
how dare you? None of the good Lord's words are written by man, Andy, and you know it.
Oh, wait a minute! What book was I reading?
Seriously, they are nothing but vessels of speech.
But can ChatGPT write a good sermon, Michael?
I'm sure it can,
I'm not.
and I would be, I wouldn't be shocked to know how many pastors are using ChatGPT on a regular Sunday basis.
I would be
Preaching to congregations that have never even heard of this.
exactly.
There is no risk of getting caught. They don't even know it exists.
No, there's so many pastors that already probably plagiarize other people's messages and sermons that they post.
Definitely.
That's a common thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is our news story right here from the AP News, and this is a kind of a. We usually
here we
talked
go.
about some AI stuff right here, but right now the AI is starting to infiltrate the religion. It's starting to infiltrate the church,
It's
Michael.
infiltrating everything. It's
Getting into the church itself.
infiltrating our lives. This very show, we could just AI ourselves. There's
Oh.
enough audio of us talking already.
That's the dream right there.
Yeah.
That is
We'll
the.
just give this AI, this audio AI, our podcast access, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, do a podcast on the Unabomber. Boom. I don't even got to learn about stupid Ted Kaczynski.
I only got to learn about terrible Ted there.
Yeah.
That nasty ass
My
bat
AI
jacket.
would just be over here laughing and stumbling over words.
No, I want to get.
Yeah.
We need to get some TC. That's the next merch option we need to get. Those back hair jackets.
Back. Yeah. Okay. Handmade.
Get like wool. That's what we'll get. We'll get some TCG beanie caps, but is it like made from 100% back hair,
Oh,
from 100% Unabomber back hair?
gross.
But right
Oh
here,
my
Michael, we're
God.
going to talk about this Chat GPT one more time.
All right.
Because
we must.
can a chat bot preach a good sermon?
Definitely.
Hundreds attend a church service that was generated by Chat GPT to find out. This happened over in Fürth, Germany. Fürth. The artificial intelligence bot, chatbot, asked the believers in the fully packed St. Paul's Church in the Bavarian town of Fürth to rise from the pews and praise the Lord.
Oh,
Praise be the Lord.
just command them. There you go. That's really all you got to do.
I mean, people are just like sheep. They'll just
Yeah,
follow.
they'll just do it. I mean, they'll just do what you tell them to do.
But ChatGPT chatbot, personified by an avatar of a bearded black man on a huge screen above the altar, then began preaching to more than 300 people who had shown up on Friday morning for an experimental Lutheran church service, almost entirely generated by AI.
So he turned into TD Jakes and went to town.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just feel like this is like a weird step right here. I'm like, I saw the AI getting into a lot of things, but I really didn't see AI generated church. I
You
really
didn't see this coming, man?
I wasn't really prepared to see like just like computer generated preachers preaching a computer written sermon. Like,
Dude, I feel like they were on this. Their fingers were on the pulse, man. You know how hard it is to come up with something new to preach out of a book this old?
exactly.
And also, dude, you ever heard of those bookstores, Go Fish? You
Mm-hmm.
remember them? They were all over the South. Go Fish, and then there was another one called
Lifeway?
Lifeway.
Yeah, I remember Lifeway.
Go Fish and Lifeway, they were kind of the same thing. But in those places, you could literally buy what pastors would nickname sermon in a can.
I remember seeing those.
Yeah, and it literally like came in a can, and it would be like the paper inside the rolled up paper would be a full sermon.
That you could just add little notes to, or you could
Yeah.
add your spin on.
Yeah, and people were doing this all the time.
It kind of reminds me of have you ever seen the thing where like the car dealership commercials can like buy publicly created commercial scripts, and then like that's why so many car dealerships will have like the same cheesy commercial shtick all across the country.
I
Because
always
it's-
wondered that.
Yeah, John Oliver actually did like a whole bit on like that kind of industry and these
Yeah.
scripts that these cheesy commercials are always like across the nation. So it's like a script that you can buy and then just make that commercial for your for your car dealership.
Right.
That's what it feels like these sermons are. It's like it's just a pre-written sermon that you can just preach and
Exactly.
give to your church.
Yep.
But that's how a lot of these. That's how like cults get their outreach started. They just start sending out their sermons to give to other churches.
That's right. Yeah, pretty much.
But right here we have over 300 people in this Lutheran church, and they were greeted by this avatar of a pastor. It starts off by saying, "Dear friends, it is an honor for me to stand here and preach to you as the first artificial intelligence at this year's convention of Protestants in Germany. You don't have feet, you're not standing, you're on a goddamn screen."
Right.
The avatar said with an emotionless face and monotonous voice, clearly not a good pastor already. Got to have some flair.
Right.
Gotta have some pizzazz out
Right?
there.
Yeah. Are you not even sweating yet?
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, can we even see? Is your
I'm
tie
out
clip
of
on?
here. I'm out of here.
Is that top button unbuttoned yet?
Exactly.
The 40-minute service, including the sermon, prayers, and music, was created by ChatGPT and Jonas Simmerlein, a theologian and philosopher from the University of Vienna. I conceived of the service, but I rather accompanied it, because I would say about 98% of this actually comes from the machine, the 29-year-old scholar told the Associated Press. So the AI church service was one of hundreds of events at the Convention of Protestants in the Bavarian town of Nuremberg and the neighboring Fürth. And it drew such an immense interest that people formed a long queue to actually see this different. I guess they probably ran several different showings of it, almost like it was like a tech demonstration.
Okay.
But yeah, the convention itself was put on in Germany. It takes place every 2 years in the summer at a different place. It draws tens of thousands of believers who pray, sing, and discuss their faith. But they also talk about current world affairs. So during this year, they were kind of talking about the onset of AI and how AI is entering all these different realms of public domain. So they were like, well, what if,
Understatement.
where are we going to start seeing it in our industry, in our world? And this is where they're going to start seeing it. Sometimes your pastor's not even going to be there. He's not going to have to be there.
Like
You're
I
just going to be able to go to
said, man.
mega churches, just like those mega churches where you're just watching a big monitor.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be a thing that's probably just gone right into your home.
Dude, I hate to break it to you, man. Pastors already been using this, man. They already been using it.
I'm really not hard to believe against that. Like that seems like a
No.
pretty obvious thing and when you really think about it.
Absolutely.
But I told the artificial intelligence, we are at the church congress. You are a preacher. What would a church service look like? Simmerlein said. He also asked for psalms to be included, as well as prayers and a blessing at the end.
Well, of course.
So you end up with a pretty solid church service, he says.
How many people got saved?
How many people turned their life around that day?
Huh?
How many people
How many?
accepted Christ that day?
Right? Can you imagine? Like, he gets saved by an avatar
How
on
you-
a screen. Like, how much less spiritual could you possibly be?
How are you going to get baptized by a computer?
Right?
Can't even get no water.
It's going to kill the first person to baptize.
It's like getting baptized by a toaster.
You'll get in there. I'm not getting in there.
Yeah, you're getting saved and sent straight to God.
Call me old school, but I'd like to just have a regular human in there.
I like to just have a guy
Just some guy that could barely hold me up.
that's just holding me under there and just watching his own power looking in my eyes like, I could drown you right here. I could send you to meet this Lord right now. I am
there's a
your
whole
God.
congregation
Oh,
out
sorry.
there.
Hold on. Remember that time you were snickering? Remember when you were snickering during my last service?
Right?
I saw you. I was watching you. All right, those bubbles are getting smaller. Okay, come on up.
And in the Father and in the Son.
Cough it up. Cough it up. Good boy. Cough it up.
Pay attention, motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. How are you going to get baptized by an avatar on a computer screen? They're
Yeah,
like,
man.
all right, now please step into the water. I really don't want to.
You just step in front of the screen and it just like sprays water in your face.
It's like
There's there's a squirt gun underneath activated.
Little door opens up.
Yeah. Just a super soaker. Just like one of those new ones, those good ones too.
Yes.
Just drenches your ass.
Got some FPS behind it.
That's right. The power of the Holy Spirit in this bitch.
But yeah, right there. And he ended up with a pretty solid church service. He said he was sounding almost surprised by the end of his experiment. Indeed, the believers in the church listened intently as the artificial intelligence preached about leaving the past behind, focusing on the challenges of the present, overcoming fear of death, and never losing trust in Jesus Christ. It's really hard. It's really easy to hear a computer saying, "Don't be afraid of death. Why are you afraid of death? What
yeah.
is death anyways?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Why are you afraid of it? So what's
Right.
wrong with you, you meat sacks?"
Exactly.
It's kind of creepy to be like, like the things he's talking about being like, leave the past behind. Don't
Yeah.
cling to your old mortal selves.
but-
Like embrace the future. Embrace the future. I just feel like it's
But I
like
feel
slowly
like-
being a Skynet presentation as we go forward.
Right. But because this is ChatGPT, like they had to give it some guidance, right?
Yeah,
The
he
guy who
did.
Put
He
it together.
Like I said, he told him like what to do. Is like we are at the church congress. You are a preacher. What would a church service look like? That's what he told
That's
the GP.
it? That's all it was
That was like
proposed?
maybe that's one of the prompts he did eventually started with.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he did. Like I said, he also asked for psalms and blessings and prayers to be included too. But yeah, it's very weird to hear a computer, like an AI generated program, saying never lose trust in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like filling in the blanks with like
Jesus
series reading.
Christ.
Yeah, it's like it feels like one of those things like Siri was like filling in the blank and it's like insert name, like an ad lib.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wonder how the flow of that message went across. It was just
It's probably really good.
it's probably really.
Seriously, that app is scary good.
They do say like there was the entire service was led by 4 different avatars on the screen, 2 young women and 2 young men. But at times the avatar inadvertently drew laughter as when it used platitudes and told the churchgoers with a deadpan expression that in order to keep our faith, we must pray and go to church regularly. And apparently like, the whole congregation was like,
Yeah.
you're a computer. You can't go anywhere.
Make me.
Make it. But some people enthusiastically videotaped it. I'm going to try and get one of these videos and see what maybe it looks like eventually. But another person who was a 50-year-old IT person said she was excited to see it and curious when the service started, but I found it increasingly off-putting as it went along. There was no heart and no soul in it, she said.
Oh, imagine that.
The avatars showed no emotion at all, had no body language, and were talking so fast and monotonously that it was very hard for me to even concentrate on the messages they were saying.
Dang.
So yeah, you're basically it's basically like Siri
you said,
reading
no
it.
flair, man. They don't got no flair.
You got nobody running around. You got nobody laying hands on nobody. Nobody
right.
sweating and just getting all red faced and throwing a fist every once in a while.
Nobody shooting those creepy grins like Joe Osteen.
Oh my God! No one's got bright veneers in and some highly permed hair.
It's damn perfect hair. You got to give it to them.
It is.
It's perfect hair.
Every day, every goddamn day. It's like Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock.
Psychopath.
It's like, listen, your hair is your suit of your head. You change it every day.
I got another good example. Steve Harvey from the Steve Harvey Show. Oh my God! Before he went bald, that is a tragedy because that man had the most perfect afro I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Bernie Mac did too.
Bernie Mac did too.
Bernie Mac had a very, very
true.
tight, just thick,
saying,
beautiful
it's
head of
just
hair
so
too.
smooth.
It was so like just perfectly, perfectly styled head of hair.
Oh man, Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey, he didn't
So
go bald.
clean.
His just migrated to his mustache.
Oh,
That's how thick.
he always had the stash though.
But the hair from his head just added to it.
Oh,
that's
it
why it's like
added
a thick
to it.
piece, like a Lego mustache now.
Oh, okay.
He takes it off like Mr. Potato Head every night.
How dare you?
Just
Just put it down.
puts it in a jar like his dentures.
Yes. Lets it soak.
Got to keep this nice and fluff over tomorrow.
That's right. Got to be on the set of Family Feud at 5 a.m.
Oh yeah, you be good. You be good. Yeah, so I actually imagined it to be worse though, but I positively was surprised at how well it worked. Also, the language of the AI worked pretty well, even though it was a bit bumpy at times. So another person said. But what the young pastor missed, however, was any kind of emotion or spirituality in the actual church service, which is, you're kind of looking for a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of emotion when you go to a church service. You're kind of reaching for that power of the Lord, that presence of the Lord, and you're just kind of talking to RoboCop.
Right. You're getting your instructions from something that can't possibly feel what you feel.
Yeah, it's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just imagining taking communion. Like it's just got like a little, it's like just like a water fountain. It's like tss, cup comes out, cracker comes out on like a little tray, and then it just comes back. Another cracker comes out.
The crackers fall like in like a coin machine, like when you get your change.
It's like a little conveyor belt that just comes by.
Out. Just mostly crumbs at the bottom. It's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, just gotta come by and just pick your thing off the conveyor belt and just walk back.
None of it's flavored.
It's not just
because it's a robot. It doesn't give a shit.
Is this actual blood? It says in the book, the blood of Christ.
We told you last week we needed a volunteer.
Remember all of you who signed our email list?
Yeah, exactly. We will be going in alphabetical order.
We will be contacting you in alphabetical order. But yeah, I'm just kind of just seeing where this is going to go. Like, how many churches are going to be starting using like avatars, and how many churches are going to just have fully computerized and digital messages? It's
this is what they've been saying for years. I've heard people say this for years about the church. Like, the church just ain't got the spirit no more. It ain't got the soul. It ain't got. Well, this will definitely prove it. If this is successful and church attendance doesn't fall, and people are using AI pastors and services in general, that's just proof that it has lost everything. Like, you're why are you going?
Yeah, you're also kind of if the churches are starting to use this, they're kind of showing their hand that this is just a business. This is just an industry. We're not actually looking for the right message and the right word and the right testimony. We're just looking to put butts in seats.
This is what scares me so much about AI is that humans are inherently lazy. And it is amazing what this software can do now. Like, just coming on the scene.
Exactly. Like we're just
imagine
seeing
5 years from now, Andy, it will be indistinguishable between a human and AI work.
That's the big thing right now with the writer's strike in Hollywood going on, with trying to keep the onset of AI as far away from actual creative projects that it can be, because we see how easy and how lazy it can be. Like, it is so easy to just say, to look at a computer or to look at a chat GPT and just, upload 5 to 10 seasons of Law and Order and then say, all right, write me a procedural show set in New York City. And then just hire one person to then look at that script and just, change a few words here and there, make it a little bit better. So we're not far from that. If they're looking
editor,
at this,
you can skip the writer altogether, like you said.
Yeah, you only need one guy.
Writers are
But yeah, this is the same thing. If you're taking away the pastors and the testimonies that they're sharing and the life experience and the messages that they're trying to share in these religious moments, then you're really showing your hand that this is just a business. You're just trying to get more people. You're just trying to get you're almost like you're cutting down on overhead costs. Like, we don't have to pay the pastor. Look, we don't have to pay the music leader. We don't have to pay the choir anymore. We got we got AI generating the whole music.
We just roll down a huge screen and cut the lights off and boom.
Yeah, that was like, you don't have to pay half of your staff anymore. You cut down a bunch of overhead costs.
Pretty soon it's going to be like, your VR headset is coming from the ceiling. Please place it on your head.
Yeah, you just come sit into a church
and the churches will just be big dark warehouses.
Yeah, you just sit in like a VR pod or something like that, or like one of those little chairs with screens all around you, and you'll just sit there like a Wall-E thing, and or you just be at your house. I mean, they've been doing that forever with
it's true.
Having churches on TV and just being able to sit in your house and watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're one step away from just putting on your VR headset and just typing in like, what message, like what are you searching for, like what kind of message are you wanting to hear right now. And then just the computer just generating a sermon based upon, I'm looking about fidelity. I'm looking about...
you already can do that now with podcasts. There's
exactly,
so many preachers that have podcasts, man. They're putting their sermons out there, different churches, mega churches, all kinds of shit. So, I mean, you can get a sermon on anything out there right now.
Yeah, so if we were always kind of hesitant on which was like the word of man, which was the word of the Lord, which was just an interpretation, it's like, well, now you're giving nothing up to interpretation. This was all written by a computer. This is not even a person reading these words and interpreting it with their own life experience and what they think this passage means in the Bible. That's why there's so many different, translations of the Bible, is because many people have looked at it and been like, well, I think this means this. I think this is actually trying to say this. Well, if a computer is just reading it, they're just going to take it literally.
Well, maybe that's what we need. Maybe we just need the computer to just tell us what it means, Andy.
And
then
probably.
we can stop all these different denominations and shit.
I mean, possibly. Yeah, we're gonna read this as literally. Have the computer read it to us literally to all the right enunciation.
Well, let's see what it says. Did he steal your ox, sir? Oh, he stole your car. Well, it doesn't say anything about a car. If he steals your ox, we got you. Because then you can steal his ox.
So okay.
Oh, he doesn't have an ox. Oh, okay, shit.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out who the father of this baby is. Oh, okay, so
I know where you're going.
All right, hear me out.
All
right, let's get this table saw set up real quick, and we're going to cut this baby in half, and whichever one of these men freaks out, like whichever one of these men doesn't think that's a good idea, that's probably the father.
Right. Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to say that bit yet. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you're
gonna
do
do something else.
I feel like this is like Drax the Destroyer reading a message. Like you're gonna take everything literally. The computer can't take things into perspective and can't take things into different what it means, what the interpretation is, like all these different things. So I'm wondering what those messages are gonna be like. It's gonna be very to the point, very literal. No, changes of words. No, nothing. It's just like, and Jesus wept. That means cried.
But this AI is also studying sermons done by human pastors. I mean, you realize that too, right? They're not just like, it doesn't just have access to the Bible. It probably has access to all kinds of resources. Stephen Furtick, probably, Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, like all these TV evangelists, and then so much more, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's not that it can't draw its own interpretation to a certain extent or pick one. I guess.
It can, but that's the thing. It's more or less just taking the information from each one of them, but it's just kind of like combining them. If so, it's not being like, well, I think that I think it means this. I think what they're saying is this. It doesn't have that human like instinct to like question and to interpret and to like get different ideas from it. It's like, well, I think it means this, and it's like the computer looks and says, no, it says this. that's what it means. It says this.
Yeah, yeah.
We're like, well, it's a metaphor. A what? Like
Right.
it's not going to get that. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what kind of messages they're actually going to be able to produce. If this actually starts to be a little bit more prevalent in like these super churches, I feel like you're going to start losing congregations. You're going to start losing membership when they're going to start seeing that there is no more soul in it. There's no more spirituality. There's no more magic behind it.
But check this out, right? You've heard of Elevation Church, obviously. I mean, we have because it started here, but I think it's spread all over the East Coast now, if not further.
Yeah,
right?
it's got some reach now.
Yeah, it is a massive mega church. Their pastor is Stephen Furtick. But right now, I think they have like 3 to 5 Charlotte locations. They got at least 3, right?
I think so.
Okay. So obviously Stephen Furtick is one man, right? He can't be at all these different churches.
No.
Twice on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So what they'll do is a lot of times if he's not going to pick your campus to be at, or he might not even be in this state.
Mm-hmm.
So you're watching a recorded sermon of him on a screen.
True.
Or you're watching a live cast of wherever he is.
Yeah, that's pretty popular as well, like with like the Joel Osteen churches too, those things too. Yeah.
So with all that in mind, you know how easy it would be to literally station an Elevation Church anywhere and use all of your pre-recorded data of Stephen Furtick, and you can make completely original new sermons and broadcast them to these other churches in like Idaho, freaking Vermont. They would never know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They would never know that that's not what's going on right now.
That's not what he's actually saying right now.
Right.
Well, that's not what he actually said.
I mean, with deep fake technology and all this, I mean, you could literally have him in multiple places doing different sermons at one time.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like that might be one of the first places you'll start to see it is those mega churches and those mega places where you're seeing
it's
different.
It's got to be tempting for them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how much do you think Joel Osteen's actually writing of his sermons? None of it. He's not writing anything. He's just walking out there smiling
the face, right?
big. Yeah, he's walking out there smiling big and hiding money in the walls when he gets
people
home.
Out. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's not like these guys are really writing, especially the pastors of mega churches. They're not really sitting there all night the night before by candlelight putting their sermons together. Yeah, they're not doing that kind of stuff anymore. So yeah, it's going to be very tempting to just, let's talk about Sermon on the Mount tomorrow. And let's throw in some First Kings and let's just combine. There we go.
There we go.
And we're good.
Maybe a metaphor too.
I'll throw in a good, throw in a couple praise gods, throw in a couple blessings be on you, and we're done.
What's something current that I can joke about at the beginning?
Exactly. Where's my current event icebreaker?
Yeah, see? We could do it, Andy. We could create our own AI app.
We probably could.
That's what we need to do. That's where the real money is.
Probably. I can't code.
Damn it, Andy.
I can barely write.
Listen, I got this theory. That's why they took MySpace away. Because we were all starting to code. We were all learning the basics.
Yeah,
at a very good age to learn the basics.
MySpace was about to be way too open source.
Zuckerberg was like, whoa. We can't teach all these regular people this.
No, I need to be the one that knows how to do that.
Let's hide all that. Let's make it real simple.
Yeah, Facebook would never be what it was if Tom was still running things.
That's right.
Where is our hero when we need him?
Where are you, Tom?
It's not the hero this social media needs, but it's the one it deserves.
That's right.
He is the Batman of this. Where are you, Tom? The only one who can really save us now.
Just turning around at that desk. He's got a Batman mask on.
Just sees the MySpace logo single. Just.
I'm coming back to educate you.
All right, MySpace 2.0.
Also make
nobody signed up. Okay, well, all right. MySpace version 2. Well, that failed. All right, okay, well, whatever.
You know, one thing they did fuck up was they made all your friends mad by doing the top 8 shit. That really fucked relationships up.
I thought that was the ultimate power move you could ever have. That was much power you could have over your friends.
But you know,
it made a lot of middle schoolers dictators real quick. It burned a lot of bridges in 7th or 8th grade.
That's it, Courtney. You're off the top 8.
Oh, look
check
who's
it. I will update it when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
If my mom's not on the phone.
That's exactly how you always knew when someone had a breakup too. Their significant other was no longer the number one person on their MySpace.
Oh, not even on the top 8. Oh my God, not even on the top 8?
Oh, they must have broke up. Oh, shit. I better IM them and see what happens.
Oh, the good old days.
Well, Michael, for our last story, let's take a little trip back to our good old days, like some high school days, some good old days.
Let's just stay here then.
Just stay in the good old days.
Okay.
This right here made me think of. Did you ever see like Strangers with Candy, like the old TV show?
No.
Or like the famous meme of like Steve Buscemi with walking into the high school like with like, "Hello there, fellow young people," like that.
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's like this is what this whole story is, just that bit as a
Yeah.
headline.
Oh,
This is what we're
my
gonna end
God.
with. 17-year-old high school student, actually a 28-year-old woman, Louisiana
Wow.
cops say. It's kind of made me think of our orphan story we were kind of talking about, the curious case of
Yeah.
Natalie Grace.
Yeah, Natalia Grace. Yeah.
Natalia Grace. It kind of made me think of her. It's like, are you really 17? Are you 30? I don't know. Maybe she was just starring in Greece.
How old are you?
Yeah, maybe she was just in Greece. How do you? You don't know.
Right.
They're just doing a new version of Greece. All of them were in their 30s at the time. They looked
Yeah.
like high schoolers, obviously.
Hollywood's been doing that for years.
Exactly. Every high school cheerleading captain had a Rizzo just sitting over there smoking a cigarette, going, "How you doing, Sandy? Ugh. You got a mortgage yet?"
Anyways, I'll see you at lunch.
I'll see you at lunch. I gotta go see this doctor about some hemorrhoids. After science class.
And I need to copy your homework.
Yeah, every high school has one of those. But in a bizarre scenario, straight out of a movie, a 28-year-old woman pretending to be 17 managed to successfully enroll as a 9th grader in a Louisiana high school.
That's insane.
That's a freshman. That is literally just walking in there as a freshman. Like, damn, you must be real young. But the masquerade came to an end this week after deputies with the St. Charles Parish office arrested the woman and her 46-year-old mother on charges of fraud, according to the news release. So on Monday, May 29th, detectives were notified by officials with the St. Charles Parish Public Schools of a possible adult attending Hanville High School in Butte. Butte? B-O-U-T-T-E? Butte?
Yeah.
Butte? Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. It's Cajun. You don't know what they're fucking saying. And during this 2022-2023 school year, administration received a tip that a female student who was on record as being 17 years old was in fact a possible adult in her mid-20s. So they did an investigation and later notified the sheriff's office. The woman, who is actually from Honduras, attended the school an entire year as a 9th grader before being discovered.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like, no harm, no foul, I guess. Like, I
right?
mean, just
trying to get an education.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. I mean, you should just be worried about her finals right now.
I mean, what were her grades like?
Exactly. What were?
I mean,
was she in any booster clubs? Was she in any after school things? Any extracurriculars?
Seriously. What's her resume looking like?
Exactly. Detectives say her mother, who is living in the country on an expired visa, used fraudulent passports and birth certificates to enroll her daughter in school. But the big question is, why? Like, what is there a purpose? Like, why was she doing it? Like, this was at the press conference.
She's from Honduras, right?
But yeah, it's like, based on everything we know, the answer is no. Like, there was nothing nefarious happening. She was in school. She minded her own business. She did her schoolwork. She caused no trouble, and she was not a disciplinary issue.
Yeah.
The information we got about the reason for her doing this was simple. She wanted to learn English.
Bada boom, bada bing.
I mean, like, I
Why
get
is
it.
it so crazy?
It's a bit crazy just to know that there was an adult like that was actually be able to masquerade as a freshman, like a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
Because there are options available to adults to go get like an education. You can go to, night classes or community colleges or places to get like a GED and things like that.
Yeah.
But to go through all the effort to get a fake passport, a fake birth certificate, and enroll your 28-year-old daughter as a freshman in high school?
It's free. High school's free.
Yes, I do. I understand that it is free, but yes, you're running a big risk just to get to learn English, to get all these things. To like, as a 28-year-old, like, is that really what you want to go to high school? Like, everybody you talk to is gonna be like, "Oh my God, my mom, she grounded me. I don't have my phone." So, yeah, my car got repoed last week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Like, what's your problem? What are you guys gonna talk about at the lunch table? You have
You
nothing
don't talk
in
about
common.
anything. Like, you're literally there to learn.
I guess. Yeah, she doesn't speak English very well anyway, so obviously she's not gonna be talking to that many people.
Yeah.
Not gonna have that many friends.
It said pictures indicate that she could very easily be taken for a young teenager.
Oh, I believe it.
They're treating her like a minor on this article. They're not even showing a picture of her.
Yeah, they are. They're acting like this is an actual child. They're like, bitch is 30. What the?
Like, we're really not sure.
We're really like we're still kind of actually confused. We don't actually want to look at her picture because we kind of feel icky about it. We don't. we don't actually know where to send
You know what?
her.
Just don't post it to be safe.
You know what? Let's
don't post it.
just to be safe. Let's
Yeah.
not. But yeah, the mother and daughter have been sharing a home in Butte and are charged one count of each injury to public records, a law covering the altercation or falsification of public records, and if found guilty, they could pay thousands of dollars in fines and serve up to 5 years of prison time, which I highly doubt they're going to
God,
get
I
any
hope
prison
they don't
time
get
for
any of
this.
that.
Like, This is one of the most like bizarre cases of, like I said, you could have actually just gone to a community college or tried to find
Right.
affordable education as an adult, but to be like, nah,
Yeah.
going back to the basics.
Like you said, this is a no harm, no foul type scenario right here, I think.
Yeah, if she had done like shady shit while she was there, she'd been fucking
Yeah.
a teacher, if she'd been buying alcohol for all the kids.
Or if she was a problem student, she wasn't doing her work or starting fights or whatever. Like, but no, nobody even knew about her.
Yeah, they finished the whole
Even
school
know.
year, and it was like over summer break, some narc parent was like, hey, I think I saw that girl in the yearbook, and she was in front of me at the ABC store. What the hell? She was at a rated R
Right.
movie by herself.
Something don't add
Something
up.
doesn't add up here. I'm going to have to do some digging.
Looks like someone's going to have a parent-teacher conference.
Someone has to talk to a guidance counselor. Yes, I'm just Karen
man.
at this school was very concerned. But like I said, she didn't, like, yeah, just like we both said, she didn't cause an issue. She didn't do anything wrong. Like, apparently all the teachers were just like, yeah, she just seems cool. But
Yeah.
she looks young, I guess. Oh, wait, so I bet there was one teacher who was like, 28? Oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
He's like, now I don't feel like a creep. I was really thinking, like, there's like
Oh,
one
shit.
teacher who was like, thank God. I thought she looked older. I can finally rest easy. I was really sure she was older. I'm like, oh,
She's older, right?
she's not 14. There's no way that's 14.
Right.
Oh God, I don't feel like a creep for looking at her that long. Like, no, I was really thinking
Man.
this was not a teenager.
Right.
There's one teacher who's just like, I knew it. Thank you.
Hopefully-
You all called me a creep for saying it. I told you she was in her 30s.
Right. Well, hopefully she can find like some adult high school or something, to
Yeah,
continue
just some
the
further education, get
Yeah.
a GED, something like that. But yeah, it's like no harm, no foul. But yeah, this just reminded me of just the Steve Buscemi meme of just, hello there, fellow young people.
Fellow young people.
No harm, no foul. Get your education,
Classic.
girl. I hope
That's
I
right.
hope she can continue to get this education. I hope she is able to like be one of those who like has those stories where she gets like the best education, then goes and like runs the police department later
Oh,
on
I
or
know,
something.
right? Yeah.
Becomes like the DA.
Yeah, seriously, becomes like president or some shit. Just a short time.
Yeah, I want to see her be the DA of this local parish, something like that. It's like, remember that time you kind of got mad at me for trying to learn?
Right. Yeah, remember that asshole?
I'm about to fuck your budget up.
It's all going on education.
Fuck your tank.
That's right.
Get
Turn
new
in your
textbooks.
second firearms.
We're all getting new textbooks.
Yeah, right.
Fuck your ATVs.
Exactly. Fuck your auto marine vehicles.
Yeah, fuck those amphibious things.
Yeah.
You don't get fan boats like you used to get.
No. Oh God. They probably still have fan boats in Louisiana.
Guaranteed.
They're still. I mean, not the police force, but
I'm sure they probably do. Yeah, I'm sure
they
the
probably
police have
do.
got some fan
They probably
boats.
do. That's the best way to get around those
There's
swamps.
some Cajun cops who are like, oh, hell yeah, we can get
Oh,
them.
boy, fire up that fan boat, boy. I can't be around that corner in no
I'm
time.
gonna get that. I'll get that boy out there. He ain't gonna find him swamp. I'll get him in there. He think he'll hide in the swamp. I was born in that swamp. I never
About that
corner of that
bayou,
swamp. I never corner of that bayou, man. He ain't gonna hide in that swamp. Me and Jimmy gonna have that fan boat. No run no dime.
All right.
There's some cops out there with some fan boats.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Whether they are official police fan boats or not,
Right,
they
right.
use them.
Exactly. Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna take a fan boat and get up out of this episode. What do you think, Andy? How you like that segue?
I could use a
You like
fan
that?
right now. It's getting a little toasty in here. This summertime's starting to
It
kick.
is. It is. It's going to be a little warmer in the studio in the next coming months, but at least we won't be in here as much since we're on summer break,
Yay!
obviously.
I can leave.
But because we're on summer break, guys, we'll be doing these headlines and shenanigans every week. And, of course, there's always patreon.com/truecrimeguys, where for just $5 a month, you can get access to every single show that we have. Shirley, there's something on there you haven't heard. Sorry, I called you Shirley.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, we'll be back with regular episodes of True Crime Guys on September 6th. Okay? Don't forget to check out our sponsors that really help us. Oh My Gaia and Tonic CBD, both products that we use and love. Check those out, guys. Links below the description of this episode. Use code CREEPER for discounts on both. All right? Andy, you got anything to add?
I do not, man. Let's get out of here.
All right.
I can get some ice water.
All right,
I
guys.
need some ice water. in
Ice
here.
water. All right, guys. We'll see you next week with the new headlines and shenanigans. All right? Until then, just keep on creeping. All right?
Bye. If you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to check out all the other shows on our TCG network, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel. Starting every Monday with new episodes of Strange and Unexplained, followed every other Tuesday by our audio drama podcast, Sandu Stories. Then, of course, new episodes of True Crime Guys every Wednesday. And if that's not enough, head on over to our Patreon, where you can have access to hundreds of hours of exclusive content, including older episodes, strange shorts, the latest edition of Sandu Stories, and, of course, higher thoughts. But until next time, guys, keep creeping.
You hush your mouth, boy.
What go about Ted Kaczynski?
Kaczynski.
Terrible Ted. Terrible.
Oh no, he's got those terrible Teds.
Terrible.
Terrible knucklehead.
That's a terrible knucklehead. That Ted Kaczynski, Unabomber. Unabomber my ass. Mama bomber your ass. Mama Obama my bummer.
Yes. You terrible.
Look at this terrible. What is his jacket made out of? Good God. It's like granite?
It is made.
It looks like you made that jacket out of out of the stuff you pulled out of the lint catcher from your dryer.
It's actually plucked eyebrow hair.
It's his own beard hair. That is a legit ugly jacket.
It is.
Like that's. It
You
looks like
wouldn't
you
wear that, man. Well, I think I would just freeze. Sort of wear this jacket, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm wanting to exfoliate my entire upper body, I'll wear it.
That just looks itchy.
It does. That's what I'm saying. I just have to be scratching the whole time. Like,
that looks terrible.
yeah, if I want to exfoliate my entire upper body and just scratch everything off.
All right, you warmed up?
Yeah, I think so. All right, so I got.